I'm in.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Lev.
Hey, oh my God, nice. Finally, we have some party.
Yeah.
Oh, you have nice background. What's your background? It says, where are you?
You've been here.
Ah, okay. Oh my God. Okay, it's real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it looks bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
well,
they start it already, or?
I think we're first to the party, guys. So where's the where's the champagne? Where's the nuts, champagne, nuts, and actually exactly. Okay.
Oh, there are lots of people.
Yeah, I was very much afraid because I said if I do it now, it's going to be full of people. But maybe it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How many live streaming have you been involved during the Ars Electronica?
I mean, I actually been running at this kind of background, every evening, just while working, and so I think I probably watched a few hours for every day.
Wow.
It has been
Amazing.
for me. It has been basically what I find with Karina events were better than everything else somehow. I think with Karina events, people prepare better. They make better video, somehow more better organized. So it was one very good lecture by a professor from actually School of Cultural Technology here. Yeah, but so we yeah. Anyway.
So I think Hong Kong people, they are gathered there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. No. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I will get some drink and then come back.
Good. Yes. Они... О, всем привет.
Привет.
Hi.
Ну. Видишь, у всех такие модные фоны, а я решил мне такой... Hi, oh, hello,
Hi, Lev. How are you?
Good, it's working.
Yeah, of course it's working. And I see that Manuela Hillman from Ars Electronica, Elena Nikonol from Elena, you're from Lviv, are
Moscow.
you?
From Moscow.
Moscow. Sorry.
Yes.
I should know that. And we are still waiting for Olga and also for Bodan, who are from Lviv in Ukraine. And Lev, you're totally perfectly on time. And so we have some kind of Russian blood in the neighborhood. And so the mood will be totally excellent. So when you click on HK Garden 1, it seems that you see the picture from the party just starting. So it's just the very beginning. But you will see more of what's going on there, because there are plenty of people that should arrive soon. And the wine already arrived, which is a very good thing.
So basically, it's a kind of new pandemic party. Some people having some people having good time, and everybody else watching them. So,
Yeah.
so very kind of boring. Everybody's sober, watching from your apartment, like some people having drunk. I see. I like that.
Yeah. No, you see plenty of people use masks. sometimes as we meet each other pretty often, when we are in meeting, we don't necessarily have masks because we are not really moving so much from one place to another in the city. So that Hong Kong has been quite serious in the prevention and in security. When you arrive, take your temperature, of course, wash your hand and everything. So it's not really, it's not like if people were coming. So I know that Jeffrey Shaw is here. Yuk Hoi is just behind the guy here.
Wow.
You see with a white shirt. So this is Yuk Hoi. And there's, I don't see so well from here, but there is Gérard Henry, who was long time in charge of Alliance Française in Hong Kong, and has created Le Petit Journal, which is a real interesting tool for communication between cultural people and also the French people. I see, is it me? Yes, I see my image in front of it, because we have two Zoom sessions face-to-face. One is more for discussing, the other one is for people just arriving. So obviously, clearly we have plenty of people here now. 17 online now, but we are just at the beginning because we told them to come at 6:30. So, so what if we start talking a bit about your gardens and let us know a bit of what happened in Moscow and Lviv, and after I will tell you what happened in Hong Kong.
Well, Olga now is at the gallery in Electro Museum, where the exhibition is happening.
Hello.
Hi, Olga. So Elena was.
Yes, maybe I can give a short. Hello. Sorry if the connection could be a little low because because of the circumstances. Maybe I can give a short tour in the gallery. I will go outside to show you the context, the surroundings. So.
Yes, so we see, but I'm not sure we hear your voice, Olga.
Well, I think the connection is unstable, maybe.
It seems so.
Yeah. So maybe it was a bad idea to go outside because the connection is unstable there. So I will just give a short tour in the gallery. So this is the overview. So as you may know or remember, the project that we are creating together with Helena, it's called Datasets versus Mindsets, and it is dedicated to the artistic explorations of the boundaries between digital art and physical spaces on the one hand, and on the other, it raises a questions: what happens if post-Soviet mentality meets new technology? So we gathered 15 art projects in the exhibition that takes place in Electro Museum, where I am now. So it's just a small gallery, but it's one of the main centers of the community of art and science, new technology, and new media communities in Moscow. It's run by two artists who started their practice in the early 90s, Alexei Shulgin and Alistar Chernyshev. We gathered 15 artists from post-Soviet republic, post-Soviet countries.
And maybe I can show. So we have this website, datasetsmindsets.com, and actually, I think the most interesting part, you can explore it by yourself. We have around 15 projects dedicated to this digital control society and this kind of explorations. In our project that we were trying to show different ways, different approaches to new media arts. Here, this is kind of activistic project. So they basically they use machine vision technology as a way of response to the police violence. Actually, this is an interactive project. You can upload your picture and then from protests, for instance, and it identifies police, the pictures, and it just covering all people who are not policemen. I can show you some other projects like this, the project by Vita Shaknovich. And for this project, she created this device. You can see this device and it's vibrating when you are near some CCTV or IP camera in the city. So it identifies where these cameras are located on a map, and then it's vibrating. This is like the first layer of the exhibition. The second layer is media archaeological project. So we have several artists who are exploring new technologies with some kind of old ideas, or some old ideas with new technologies, and like vice versa. And so we have this kind of project by Anastasia Lohina, Para-Optic, and she used the idea from 50s, which was from like Soviet scientific research, actually, and there was this idea that we can see with our fingers. And of course, it was like kind of, it sounds kind of crazy, but there was really like scientific research about that. And she created a project based on this idea. The other project, which is also media archaeological, is this project by Andrei Smirnov and Ekaterina Trubina. This technology was invented by Leo Theremin. Actually, first it was invented just for spy reasons. And then here artists, they're using the same technology to create this object. So you can basically, with this special device, you can read a message encrypted with light. But actually, we had this performance program 2 years ago, and actually most of the performances were based on this media archaeological approach, like this performance by Maria Moloka. And here you can see her performance. And actually, she used the same, basically the same technology to create this sound performance. And we can listen just minutes.
You upset? I'm just watching.
And well, also I have to say that we on our website you can explore two modalities of surveillance. You can surveil or be surveilled, and when you use the interactive interface, you are like being surveilled. But when you watch this performative program, you can surveil, because we were webcasting these performances, like kind of referring to the IP cameras, so you can see it's like in this with this style.
Yeah, we have some references between conversations.
Well, yes, and also, yeah. And we have another level at the show and also online. This is kind of metaphorical level when artists use new technologies to talk about this surveillance state and about biopolitics. Like in this project by Elena Gennadievna, and in this project he used VR chat, this platform, to create this kind of zone and to explore also these boundaries between digital and physical, between virtual and real. And the idea is that this is a real person, like sitting in this game in these VR glasses, and this person is sitting already like at 24 hours in his room. And actually you can connect to this VR chat room and you can talk to this person, but probably he's now alone in this and this is how he looks in his room. And here you can see what he sees, and this room which looks as a matrix, this room. So you can connect and to talk to this person. I think he feels lonely in this matrix. Yes, and maybe I can show you maybe the last project, because actually there are a lot, and you can explore our website. But well, I think I will show you this project by Medina Bazargali. This is at the exhibition. It works as a installation, interactive installation. So you can enter this room, and then you can sit at the table, and then actually here is there is a camera hidden in this room, and when you sit at the table, it identifies your face with facial recognition system, and then it recognizes your age and your gender, whatever, and it identifies the level of danger, and then it prints you some text based on constitutions of post-Soviet countries, and then it's kind of printing this text, imitating how you can be detained by the state, and then how you can be accused with something and it's actually, it sounds super absurd, but she's from Kazakhstan, and she talks about this surveillance state and also about that you can be detained at the protest or maybe not even, and then you can be accused with some absurd law or something. But actually, when we are showing this project in Russia, it's kind of the same situation. So it's kind of metaphoric way to talk about these problems. Well, I think that's maybe all what I have to say.
Well,
maybe Olga wants
maybe
to
I can
add
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to summarize that, of course, it's impossible to show all the wonderful projects that we included in our exhibition, and but you can, of course, look them online. But what you could see, what Helena demonstrated, that we gathered, which was projects that, on the one hand, reflect on the current political situation and on the current events. On the other, build some kind of a vision of the future, which is connected with new technologies and new well, abilities that give new technologies to human, and those projects that reflect on the history of Russian science, like Anastasia Levna project, which reflects on the, of course, it wasn't those research on the connection of vision and on the hand vision, they were not scientifically approved. It was like false science, but it still was a very interesting phase in the history of Russian science. And the project by Andrei Smirnov, that used technology of Leothermin. It is also very interesting, step in the history of Russian technological history, of course, because Leothermin is very well known as the author of theremin works, and he was very famous in the 30s in the USA where he lived. But when he moved to Russia, to the Soviet state in the 1933, if I'm not mistaken, he was sent to prison, just like in always when he arrived, almost when he arrived in the state. And for many years, he worked in the laboratory for KGB, where he worked on eavesdropping techniques. And one of these techniques was used in Andrei Smirnov and Katya Trubina works that we included in the exhibition.
Well, I think I have to also add that this is not only like a history of Soviet science, but it's also a history of the country, because of course these ideas that were developing for military use, like this idea of seeing with fingers, it also was like in military departments, and as well as this Leothermin idea. Well, yes.
Yeah, so many levels, really great works, and we like them a lot.
Yeah. I also would like to add that well, we want to express our our gratitude to Alexei Shulgin, Aristar Chernyshov, and Andrei Smirnov, because they have been developing these new media and sound art communities for many years. So you can, at the exhibition, we can kind of presenting the results of this work. Yes, I think that's all. Maybe you want to add something.
True. Well, I mean, it's I think we can go on and on about the project that we included there. Fascinating, but yeah, I think we can switch to another garden, and maybe if there are any questions about our project, you can ask them in the chat. And we will be happy to answer them maybe after the presentations.
Wow, but this was really nice
so
to get like this insight to the concept of your garden, because for me so far I had so less time to check all the web pages, but I was so happy that you had the 2 live sessions that I could follow both of them. Yeah. So maybe let's switch on to Hong Kong.
Yes, we can do that. Yeah, I will try to make it short because it seems to be difficult to manage all the sounds at the same time in the party. That's interesting because we have the contrast of a situation of people being alone somewhere in front of a microphone, and we have something like 50 people here or more with drinks, and then with plenty of screens, and I don't know, even if we try to have the same content on all the screen, we understand that is like water when you connect to recipients, they have different levels. it's an interesting experiment. Okay, let me try to make a short tour of Hong Kong, so we can go and drink, which is of course the most exciting part of it. I need to share my screen, and for that I will share mostly our website here, where we have gathered all the content that we have been presenting. So sorry, I have to do that. Share screen. So I just explained the context. We started pretty late of working on that, but we developed something like 40 different contents. We created specific videos for the event, some few new artworks, and we also documented ongoing exhibition or exhibition that just finished recently. We thought it could be the occasion to share our experience and the specific action around the School of Creative Media, City University of Hong Kong. So we started, you see, we have live events, artworks, workshops, symposia, documentation for exhibitions, people, and art in labs, because we wanted people to share their experience in labs. And we started on a Wednesday with a dialogue about dialogue, which is a conversation I had with Refik Anadol, and where we presented our project, the project we are working on, so that you have the full conference. I'm not going to present that now. And where we talk about the complexity of an artwork becoming an individual, becoming a subject, and how the artwork can reflect on situation like being an alien or even an immigrant. And so the artworks immigrating inside the public space would try to figure out what is the environment, the other people, how an artwork can understand another artwork. And this is what the project Dialogue is about artworks that start to understand each other. So it's a project which is developed for public space. We'll start with L'Hospitalet de Llobregat in Spain, next to Barcelona. And we presented alien life in the telescope, as you can see here, which is actually the two newborn entities that have been created to evolve and to try to survive on Earth. I mean, in urban environments on Earth. So I'm not sure we still can see something. I think we can, but we see only one side. So that's the Hong Kong side. And you see the newborn alien. They start existing, and that will have a complex behavior, interaction situation, and so on. And Refik Anadol is in California, so he developed something very different. But we propose to be online only one day, and so this is why you don't see it. I could speak for hours about that, but this is not what we are gonna do. And so I go back to the website here. I hope so. Then yesterday I gave a talk, Speculative Speculations on Art and Values. And this is about the Value of Values project, where we combine EEG, BCI, brain-computer interaction with the blockchain. And we try to figure out how we give shape to human values and how the values can become part of the market. And the objective, of course, is to see what is the relative value of the values and how individuals and countries may consider that the hierarchy of values determine their decisions, their action, and something that would help us, for example, to understand why Trump is doing what he does and why other countries may have a different vision of the future. Of course, among the live thing, we have the Planetary wine tasting party, and we are just in the middle of that. And we create a new project because we thought, okay, it would be interesting at the world level to have the possibility to see what Hong Kong looked like. And so this project is called Escape Views, and it's a 360 panorama project where you can see different locations. And this is remote locations. It's not a classic Hong Kong thing, like here. And everybody seems to be running. But if you look carefully, you discover that there is somebody not running, which is this guy here, who is now making a performance in the party and is installing surveillance cameras everywhere. All the most remote places will have surveillance cameras, and this is what it is doing in different places around you, as if the world would be covered by that. So it's an ongoing project, but it's still, this level of the project is still accessible, and you can see that online. And there are some very exciting views, actually, with funny things happening. And you see is, so in the final project of Escape Views, it will be with binoculars and people will look at the scene, and it's a focus on the camera. Oh, that's a party sound. Somebody is supposed to spread party sound to avoid this feedback thing. Okay. And then the final project that will be exhibited in the art machine show people will look at the panoramas with binoculars, but the microphone, it's another, sorry, they are different. I have to cut one of the microphones that seems to, HK Garden, maybe this one? I don't know. Okay. So this, when people will look at something, it will become painted on what I call the collective retinal memory. I've been working on this 20 years ago. And so it's possible that at the end, people see mostly cameras everywhere, a kind of reverse panopticon where we observe people observing us. So this one is one of the panoramas with a monkey crossing. You see it? I don't know if you see what I see. Actually, I'm never sure. But of course, yeah, there are some interesting things. So it's like if people would like to escape the city for different reasons, including pandemics, but also probably political reasons. And this couldn't hide the reality of things that become durable in a surveillance system that are sold and in place. So let's go to the next thing. You click on program and you see. I will make even shorter by telling you that we did a workshop to learn how to use the VOV tokens, the model you create with the Brain Factory, and how you make artworks out of it. And then we present solo exhibition with Jeffrey Shaw, Tamás Velisky, Value of Values video, of course. Tobias Klein was the exhibition Metamorphosis of Confrontation still in place. Max Hattler, who did recently Receptive Rhythm, and also collective curated exhibition on the road, young media artists in China with 50 installations, algorithmic art, shuffling space and time, and then some thematic curated exhibition we did recently, like Leonardo and animals. And some documentation about artworks. Thomas Lorenzo, Per Magnus Lindborg, Daniel Ho, and a series of very new interviews, short interviews, 3 minutes, that really nicely done by Anne Mack, and with Linda Lai, Lung Chi Wo, Max Hattler, Harald Kramer, Thomas Maslik, Ashley Wong. So you see that on the website, and there are plenty. And then the visit of 6 different labs, where the researchers and the artists present, tell us more about the research they are doing in this field. So as you can see, I tried to be short. I'm short. Now let's drink. So I'm going now in the space where everybody is. It seems to have been a bit difficult to get the sound because this is the first time we do that, and with many we have 5 or 6 different Zoom channels, and so this doesn't make it easier. I don't know if you have any question, anything you would like to talk about, but I didn't get into the details. You may see on the Zoom channel many of the contents and the video we are presenting, and some cameras will move inside, so you see the other screen and you see exactly what's going on. Any question? Okay, so maybe this means it's time to drink something.
Well, but I would like to introduce Bodan because
oh yes,
I saw
sorry.
he
I
also
I looked for him, but I couldn't find him.
I think he also attended this meeting. Maybe he can say something.
Maybe with another name because I couldn't find him.
Yeah, I changed my name.
There he is. Yeah.
Let's come again, Bodan.
Hi, Maurice. If you maybe have like
the problem is that we plan to end at 45, and there are some other things happening now where they're waiting me for me. So I mean, this is why I did it. I made it short because I thought, wow, we have now to catch up. But it doesn't mean you can make your presentation and it's still displayed on the screen in the room, so everybody can follow it. But they have to go, otherwise they will wonder why I invite these people and I'm not here. you get my point. So Bodan, I will try to find you on the Zoom session in the next room. Even if you don't see me, doesn't mean I leave the place. I'm here. Okay.
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 Thank you so much, Maurice.
No, thank you. And sorry to have to move. I even have to. I'm not the one sharing, so that this won't cut your connection. But I have to stop sharing my screen, and so Bodan can show something, and I have to stop my camera now. But you will see me in front of the screen in the other room.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'll try to be short. Since the garden that I represent was made by the Center for Urban History, which is not the organization which specializes in art or aesthetic practices, our participation was, of course, a bit more historical, let's say. So our focus was on history, but not only. So we started, let me share my. This is the page of the Center for Urban History, and we do various projects. You can find them online and read what we do. And here are our links to the Kepler's garden. So we started our garden with showing a film about trees, and it was a kind of performance. So we gathered the whole team of people. We gathered in the village, which is not far from the city, but it's a kind of dying village. So it's less and less people live there. There are no children anymore, and we discovered several years ago a film in the central Ukraine, which was destroyed by nature, as we assumed destroyed, but it was not, of course, destroyed, but we call it co-edited. So the nature was a co-editor of this film, and it's a film about trees. So we then had this idea, let's make a performance and show this film for trees. And then afterwards we had a discussion at the center about the agency of trees and nature, and we invited people also who study plants, and of course the point of departure was an article from 2013 about the intelligent plant, which was published in New Yorker, but we also discussed these fungal networks of trees and trees that are living in the cities, or in the city, but in various cities, and then how they create these invisible networks, which are very similar to human networks. And there are some scholars who claim that probably researching intelligence of trees will help us to understand and to better maintain the future networks. So having this kind of more aesthetic gesture by showing the film trees, we entered the program. And then we had 2 more events. We go back on the site of the Center for Urban History. Yesterday we had a very interesting discussion with astrophysicists from the university, and we discussed these beautiful objects which remained in the region from the Soviet Union. As you probably know, Soviet Union was a big socialist empire with extensive media infrastructure. So on the western peripheries, which are our region, they built various antennas for military and not only military purposes. And these antennas that we visited, they maintain actually the governmental phone channel between Moscow and Washington, D.C. So actually the signal would run from Moscow to Intelsat satellite, and then would go down to this big plate and then go to the Washington, D.C. And we visited these places. So it was an excursion to the site of Cold War, but also it's a kind of media archaeology. Several years ago, these antennas were shifted from the Ministry of Information to the Ministry of Space Research, and now they are scanning the deep space, and they are part of the big project to observe the external space of our planet. But the last project they made before turning just to observation and scanning specific particles of the universe, they sent outside 100,000 images of produced by children. So they coded them, and they made this kind of performance, also sending images of children to the outer space. But now this technology doesn't send information; they mainly only receive information. And the third project that we had, and discussion about these antennas led us to many things, like, what empires live, how they work as a trigger for various local developments, and how this information technology is connected to the big transnational stories. And then we had one more story, which was, we call it Timbers of Summer. It's about, it was the story about a Soviet amateur, a person who learned in the 50s and then in the 60s how to make like his own video camera, his own video projector. But he lives very humble life in the small neighborhood near the city. So we had this trip to this person, we conducted an interview, and then we had a more extensive discussion about what does actually mean to be a creator? Like, what was this, the army of amateurs in the Soviet Union extended far beyond like 5-7 million people. Don't exactly remember, but there were around 7 million amateurs in the Soviet Union in various fields. Of course, we don't really know how many of them were media amateurs, those working with various technological devices. But this person is one among them. So we tried to talk to him about his view on nature, also on technology, and this was a very interesting discussion. So in general, we had 3 three stories about the amateur, about tree, and about the media infrastructure that was developed in this region during late Soviet period. And as you see in my background, this is a big antenna in my city, which still functions as a television antenna, and it stays on the site where the castle used to be. So I usually have this joke that in the former times we had the castles controlling population, now antennas controlling population. But yeah, these stories about infrastructure, media infrastructure, and also stories about people who themselves, like this amateur person who produced a lot in the past, but no one knows about him. Mainly, he's a very humble person. He doesn't want to be known, and he himself is a kind of monument from the past. So, as Lev Manovich mentioned in the chat, there is a lot of references to history and humor in Russian media art. I think in Ukrainian media art is the same. The humor and the irony actually is one of the major instruments to tackle the reality, but then also, of course, our focus as Center for Urban History is historical focus, but it's not only history. So I'm just finishing my long talk, and thank you for listening and being here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really nice to now finally get all those very detailed insights into the garden concepts. Yeah, it's very impressive. Yeah. So I think maybe we should drink a glass of wine. I have to admit that I have a horrible glass because after all this stress of the festival, there were no normal glasses left at the Kepler University.
Hi, Anna-Marie, Everaldo, Bogdan, Olga. Everybody is so full.
You see me?
Great! Oh my God, nice. Okay, is it what are you drinking? Maybe some nice Latour, perhaps, or?
No, it's quite a basic wine. Let me think what it is. Côte de Bourg.
Well, basic wine in France is probably luxury for the rest of us.
And you,
Anyway,
what do you
it was just a rhetorical question, just to say hello. And,
I was trying to send you a message, but I can't.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I close your message. So hi, Lev. It's great to be in touch such a long time.
You want the technology, we can send like wine for technology, or even you can maybe send some message. I mean, I know I smell this message and I become intoxicated. Then technology will become really something. So far, it's very disembodied. So, but great to see everybody and people I don't know. Enno and Inga.
Well,
very nice.
I have lost Maurice also.
Well, Maurice had to go. He's official. He had to go to the real party.
He left.
I think we see him. We see him in the window. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, he promised that Jeffrey Crow is going to show up. So I don't know. And Nina is here. Nina, hi Nina. Maybe she's here somewhere.
And Lev, the last time we met was in Ars Electronica, I think.
You mean like 3 years ago?
Yeah, many years.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I do prefer physical version.
Yeah.
I want to only to say bye because I have set up now via internet in China, so I have to jump there. But thank you so much for all this information.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Bye. Bye.
Hello? Oh, where are you?
You know, we all have to make sure that Inga, right? Inga is the young one. We have to make sure Inga doesn't become a digital artist and does something meaningful in her life. Let's all promise. Oh my God, we have a nice party here.
Okay.
Maurice is talking.
Maurice. Okay.
Maurice, you are here?
Oh, Maurice is
Okay. Forget it.
Maurice is introduced.
What do you feel, Manuela?
Some media artwork there now.
I will tell you guys, you know, when I was growing up in Soviet Union,
art.
we sitting in the kitchen with friends, and we always wondering if KGB is listening to us. But now we know, right? It's a kind of party, but we can't be very relaxed because the whole world is watching and recording. So basically, the Soviet Union has become global reality now. Welcome, guys. Everybody is very, like, you know, official.
Anyway, there is some
Wonderful waste of bandwidth.
still
Yeah.
quite,
So Manuela, do you feel that the festival was successful this year?
Well, to be honest, I don't really have a feeling for that because I was always behind the stage. So I think everyone who was behind the stage was so happy that everything went so well. Yeah, I think therefore we have to wait for like numbers and how many participants we had and how many viewers. But I'm sure that there was a lot. And I also think that this online format is something.
You probably know who I am. Most of you know who I am.
I should
I'm the
stop to
Richard
talk.
School of Creative Media, and I just want to welcome you all to tonight's event. When Maurice approached me about creating a Hong Kong garden in about 6 weeks, I thought he was a bit mad. But thanks to his own vision and the extraordinary team that he assembled, he has made it happen. And we had a fantastic series of events over the last 4 days, virtually programmed. I want to thank Gerfeld Schroeter, the director of Ars Electronica, who can't hear me now, but the director of Ars Electronica, for actually approaching us to host this event as part of their much larger, I think 128 events in the Ars Electronica garden. And of course, I want to thank Agnes Lin. Agnes has been an incredible supporter of the School of Creative Media over the years. And she's our go-to person whenever we need to organize something difficult. And Agnes always comes through. And this is another occasion when she and her team have put on a fantastic show for the school. So I'm extremely grateful to her today and always for the support she gives to the school and to the faculty. So thank you, Agnes, once again. And I just want to salute artiste extraordinaire, Maurice BENAYOUN, who has given so much to the school and given so much to the cause of media art. It's a real privilege of mine to be your colleague and to work with you. So thank you, Maurice. And I'd like to toast Maurice and his team. I haven't got a glass, but let's toast Maurice and his team. Thank you, Maurice.
Thank you very much, Richard. Actually, we have to keep in mind that we focus on the team of the School of Creative Media, and we had a very good team and a neuro design lab that makes this possible. But it's also very challenging, as you can see. There's plenty of things we discover for the first time, and we are not totally sure of the best way to do communication between people far away and people here. And this is why we wanted everybody to have a glass of wine, at least to cheer with us. I don't know if you see us, but we don't want to be back to you. We want to face you. That's difficult because we have screens and camera both sides. The situation is pretty schizophrenic, but I think the original idea was that actually the Ars Electronica, like many big events and a very exciting moment of the art field, is not only sharing artworks, but it's also sharing friendship and meeting people, and it's about having time together. And this is why you see it's still very active, because you cannot stop this machine. You cannot stop the human machine when it tries to connect, reconnect, and try to understand each other. And this is all about that. So I'm not talking more. I don't know if Jeffrey would like to say a few words. Jeffrey, is Jeffrey around? Jeffrey, would you like to say a few words? Yes, you, the guy here called Jeffrey Shaw, and he will say a few words.
Am I saying a few words? Okay, which way am I looking? I'm looking in that direction. There's left. There's Anne-Marie. All these wonderful people that I know. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so. Okay. Really, I just got to say that I'm so happy to be here, so happy to see you all. And as you can see, we're having a wonderful celebration here on behalf of this event, which Maurice has so wonderfully put together. So, that's my hello. Anne-Marie, how are you? I want to wave to you again. I haven't seen you for ages. Where is Lev gone? He was there for a moment ago.
Ciao.
Okay, wonderful.
Ciao Maurice, ciao Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And there are plenty of amazing people here, plenty of amazing people online, and we would like to be sure to reconnect and to say it's not because we cannot travel that we are not together. So I guess you see different cameras, so you can see what's going on. Some of the channels show what you see on the other screens, which is a big variety of works that has been produced during the week and sometimes a few weeks before. So some people will come here, will recognize you. If you want to talk to somebody, you just put in the chat box and then we start a chat. Okay, you just, so you see the chat box at the bottom. I see there are 16 chat waiting, so Sam is checking the chat. And we may establish connection and try to even go to another room to be in a quieter environment.
Great.
Anybody would like to talk or say something?
Chatten. Too
Yeah,
much.
it's difficult. It's
Anne-Marie.
difficult. So we probably I have to check
Cheers.
how we can make it easier and try. Oh, Maria Grazia.
Ciao Maurice.
Hi, great to have you with us. That's fantastic.
Great.
Actually, we are really doing an Ars Electronica party now because this is the people we would meet, if I can say, during Ars Electronica. But yeah, maybe we have too many people here to make it easy. So anyway, we're gonna figure out if we can have another room for discussion and chat. That would be fantastic. I hope you could hear a little bit of what I say. I hope that. And Lisa would like to say a few words about what we do now.
All right. Hello. Charlie. Hi. Hi, everyone. All right. So my name is Lisa. Most of you guys know me. And this is Peter, co-host Peter. And first of all, we'd like to finally welcome you to our party today. You guys all right? So we'll be introducing the event today. First of all, we're going to go around the area to sort of get a view, a context of the party itself in a more close and personal kind of way, right? We're going to be using an iPad instead, okay? Is the iPad on? Can we have focus on the iPad? Right? All right. So we're gonna keep it casual. It's been casual all this while. So we are gonna start walking around here. So this window right here, you see, can we see the window here? This is where our guests are situated. Can you see the window, that window, okay. Oh, we can't see that window. So that's where our guests are situated. Okay, first of all, before we go ahead, this is very experimental. We're doing this for the first time, so we're gonna try to do this without, in style, if we mess it up. So please, entertain it. All right. So first of all, we're gonna go and have a look at some of the exhibition that's happening over here. And while we walk over there, let me introduce my co-host. This is Peter Nelson.
Hello. Can you hear me okay? Hold on, I'll demask for a second. Hello. Thanks for inviting me, Lisa. This is very fun. Shall we? Yeah, my name's Peter Nelson. Lisa and I have known each other for a long time. I used to work at SCM. Now I'm at a different school in Hong Kong. So shall we go and meet some artists?
Let's go and meet some artists. Oh, this artist you've met already. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, follow us. All right, should we do the artwork first?
Sorry?
So you see right over here, I'm going to ask Peter to introduce this segment. So there we have two projections on one of the two of the walls over here. So Peter's going to give us a little, talk about it, and then we're going to ask Anne, who's the producer, to give us more information on that.
Well, yeah, actually, that seemed to be what I wanted to do actually was to ask Anne. We have Anne who worked on producing this segment that's screening behind us here. Anne, could you tell us a little bit about, we've got a series of videos playing the Art Survival Practices series. How many artworks are in this video?
Totally, I invited 10 artists, curators, and curators about their own media art field, and they share their experience of their art practice. And during this critical situation, the moment, the online situation, and how they reflect their practice, their work, and reflection of the path, which path they are going to in the future.
Okay, so we mainly have interviews with various artists. How did you choose the group of artists? What links them together here?
First is that they are the video art artists, and I try to find the artist who is born from 70 to 90. Let me discover from the artist who is around between 50 and a young one, and from different generations, and in this situation, how they face their situation and how they interact because of this sudden change, and their insight and the reflection is very, very different and inspiring.
Right. Okay. So tell me, looking over all the videos, what were some of the most interesting changes that you found the artists talking about in this art survival? What are the ways that they're surviving? What are the changes that they talked about?
Some of the wand is not just they want the past, and it's very interesting. The conclusion for me is 10 of them. All they are very cautious of the human touch, and that is fascinating for me. And over there is another artist, Tony. Yeah. So his artwork is very interesting. And we have the creator, Howard. He's also here to stay with us. And the artists cover with the genetic art. And some are really, really in video art.
Maybe we should grab Tony. Let's see if we can grab him. Hold on. Hey, Tony. Tony, can I grab you for a second? You got caught by the video camera. So can you tell us about your involvement with this project and with Ars Electronica and the conversations you've been having here with this video compilation that Anne has put together?
Well, I mean, there's not so much to say about it because I was asked, and one of the things which I think is important is that the questions which were asked were about the event, about what's going on at the moment, pandemic, social, political, but there is not so much answers now to give right now. It should be in that perspective after maybe 2 or 3 years that we can look down on what actually happened this moment. And in art, I think it's very important now to stay active, stay vigilant on what's happening, stay trying to find out and to explore new tools and methods of communication.
I completely agree. I think trying to make up answers for complex things where we don't have answers, it's not interesting, it's boring, and it's us making stuff up. About your work, what have you been working on at the moment?
I'm working on my PhD, so in that sense, my work is in a bit of a stagnation, and the PhD is pushed in front. I think that's more important, but it's my work as well. My PhD is like, it's actually a perfect moment to do a PhD, because the world is so, it's so difficult now to do any other work. So I'm lucky.
So a PhD where you lock yourself in a room for 2-3 years and do a bunch of work, it's a good time to do it.
No, not yet. Not really. I mean, it's the first year, yes, and the last year. And the other 2 years in between, hopefully I'll be more productive. And I'll make some artworks, and we'll make something which we can discuss about it, which will form a dialogue, which push people to discuss things.
Awesome. I'll let you get back to your glass of wine. Thanks for giving us some time. Lisa, do you want to find someone else to talk to?
Yeah, well, why don't we go over here? Have you spoken about this work already? Right. And could you tell us a little bit about this segment here? I think these are the labs videos of the labs at SCM at the moment, and it's also the exhibitions.
Yeah. This part we would like to introduce you the exhibition about the media art, and we have done several great exhibitions. Leonardo da Vinci, which is 500 years anniversary, and Institute create a very comprehensive interview of this. And another one is Animal, which is created by Jeffrey Shaw. Jeffrey Shaw, other than that, he had another great exhibition here, just finished in Osage Gallery. But other than that, about the laboratory of media art, and which include a very interesting one, which is the RXL lab. And we have the lab scholar here. Maybe I introduce one of them to you. That is Christian. It's over there. And he can talk something about. We would like to talk about the lab that you are running and City Youth. Yeah.
I think Anne has put it perfectly. Do you want to tell us a bit about the work that you've been doing and its relationship to this event? So
thank you. Hello, so I'm Christian Santo. I'm the co-director of the Extended Reality Laboratory. And I'm very excited about augmented reality. So the last 20 years, I've only worked on augmented reality.
Yeah,
And so I'm really fascinated
I
with
would
it.
like to.
And well, yeah, I think in SC there are many good professors in this area. So Maurice, BENAYOUN, and Jeffrey Shaw. So great pioneers.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very humbled to
Hello.
work with them.
I see plenty of good friends. Eric just joined us. Maria Grazia Mattei, Lev is still here. I have to say that the wave of communication and social contact here is a pretty strong wave. By chance, we have some wine to survive, so please feel free to say hi.
I found someone else.
Maria Grazia, your microphone is open, so yes.
I forgot my wine. Ciao. Ciao, Derek. Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you. E Ariella.
Dai.
Ciao.
Ciao Eric, salute.
Saluti. I don't know if you hear us, but I would like also to say hi and to enjoy also that.
So nice.
You're here.
Hi.
Pretty professional background. So the funny thing is that we are recording a 360 memories of the party that become part of the artwork that I mentioned before. I don't know if you get any information about that, but this is escape news, Hong Kong escape news, a 360 video interactive work, and this is part of the escape news. So all the events includes a performance with natives somewhere around here who dressed with a protective suit. Yeah, is hidden here, dressed with a protective suit, installed video surveillance cameras everywhere, including here. So everybody is on surveillance. And our communication now is please smile, you're alive, which is of course a play with you live, recorded, and you're alive. It's a chance. Let's enjoy it. I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe I should do that to be heard, so you don't have the sound coming from the other side. So there are plenty of things we learn now. The mistake not to do next time, how we can improve that. But we thought it would be a really great thing to have people together that couldn't be before next year for some of us because of the difficulties to travel. But I'm sure this will be good. Take a bit of time to have a look to everything we have put online for the Hong Kong Garden. I understood that this is one of the biggest content that has been provided in talking in terms of size and not talking in terms of quality, of course, because it depends on the way of the works. But this is something we wanted to share with you. And anybody who want to talk or want to discuss a little bit, just write something on the chat box and we'll try to figure out. So I see there are many things here. And Anne-Marie Duguay says, great to see all friends, except yes, I don't hear. Oh, I leave soon, that's a pity. Where is Agnes? Agnes. Anne-Marie Duguay wanted to talk with you.
Anne-Marie?
Yeah.
Ecco,
So
questo
we
è
can
meglio.
see, we have the box here. I have a feeling to be
No.
Because she said, you see, that should be a video that she could.
I don't know what is one Mariduge.
I don't know, maybe we have to check. I'm not sure she's still here. And I would like to thank also Olga and Boda and Manuela and Elena who are presenting their different slides. Manuela for having made possible that we created these fantastic gardens. I have to tell you that I'm not very comfortable to be like here in command because it's not like. But I'm sure you can hear and tell you what's going on around and send messages, and when at least you can read them and you can reply. And thank you for having some cheer. Now time for one. For you, yeah, it's great, Claudio. You understood everything. Olga also. This is not really wine, Olga. It's not serious. Yeah, that's great. Okay, then I think it's good that
Maurice. Maurice. Hello.
We have to do this style. We have no choice.
Claudio, faccio un brindisi con te.
If you guys are up for it. Like, I think the party here, like, everyone's just really enjoying themselves here, so I don't think really, you know.
Brindisi?
Brindisi.
Transport Party, come si chiama?
Guarda che questa è una bella idea per l'inaugurazione.
Bellissimo, visto che mi hai scritto. Salute. È bello perché ci si può anche comunicare tra di noi alla barba di tutti.
Io non
in
ho
faccia a tutti.
Gli altri ci stanno sentendo?
Bellissimo, bellissimo.
È bello.
Finally, I hear something interesting.
Okay.
But much more interesting when it's much more interesting when digital art bullshit about digital art. You know, I can't take this anymore. Somebody in the dark telling me something about virtual reality. Let's just have a party. Let's talk. You know, I can't take this anymore. You know,
it's a party
120
time.
gardens, 150 million gardens, guys. It's like I'm going to suffocate. It's like really, it's like a circus. It's like a comedy. You know, if I die tomorrow, I'll be so sad because that's been the most sad event of my whole career. You know, 120 million gardens, 120 billion gardens. Okay, enough already. We're like normal human beings. You know, let's talk. Talk in Italian. I just want to listen.
Salute allora.
Che ha detto?
The artistic director of the festival, Jeffrey, who is not here. Jeffrey Tucker highlighted the centrality of.
And you know, the artistic director didn't show up. He went drinking with his buddies and leaned. So there was a lecture announced. The Chinese guy didn't show up. You know, it's like a comedy. You know, but we're going to count how many viewers. You know, for every report. You know, like at least if you go to Netflix, you get good quality. Like the only way I can survive Ars Electronica is by watching TV afterwards. So I have some good quality acting, production. The video is so bad, guys. What is this? You know, I feel my whole life was wasted. You know, my whole life was a waste.
Figure the sound out. It's really muddled over there.
Lev, do you remember me?
Darling, of course I remember you. Of course. And you know, guess what? I'm still. You can see from my background. I'm still media guru. You know. But yeah, I'm not a media guru, you know. I'm now a big data guru, you know. You know, I left this field in 2005 because it became so pathetic, you know. So I went and I became computer scientist because people are a bit more serious, you know.
Exactly.
But also because we have real funding, we have real funding, we actually have more sense of humor, you know. Because artists have no funding and no meaning, so there's no sense of humor. It's about 120 million gardens, 120 trillion gardens. Let's make 120, petabyte of gardens. It's like what is it? It's like Wall Street, with no money.
Lev, my center will be open. The opening will be in 28th October.
No, don't do it. We don't need more centers. 120 million centers. No, you have to tell me you're going to close your center. That's going to be best news. We don't need more centers. How many more centers? Come on. I'm kidding, darling. No, you can open. Only people after a certain age can open centers. Okay?
Oh, sei terribile.
People below 50 not allowed to do digital art. Okay, we have to do calligraphy. Okay, that's basically my, and then we have some quality.
Non vuole che lo apriamo. Okay. Jeffrey.
Oh, this food looks good. Okay.
Oh, they are our friends. You know?
Who?
Jeffrey, you, Maurice,
I'm not.
Claudio.
No.
Experiences. Oh, you don't want to.
Well, the best thing.
I'm not anybody's friend in this field. No.
The one before, and this one is especially so.
This one is spectacular. Okay, can I ask you a pretty different question? So with this pandemic going on, everybody's getting really hooked on the technology, and technology is really taking we're being weaved into the technological world further and further into it. What are your thoughts? Like, do you think humanity will learn to deal with technology and use it towards, to its full potentiality, or do you think technology is going to take us down the path of,
Technology.
I think a lot of artists are our ability to intervene and
Claudio.
New media from 1400, New media art, Kendall.
Versus this.
What's happened?
I'm doing my best to remain optimistic. So I must admit it's getting more and more difficult.
Yes.
The blue night.
We're showing us some men pants all the time, Looking at somebody pants. I don't know. We don't even want to point camera at the face. Everybody went to work for Netflix. What's going on?
It's true, but I'm still going to remain hopeful as a young generation. I really want to ask a question to Yukui. This is Yukui, contemporary philosopher. It's really amazing. Let me introduce some of his works to you. So, we'd also like to take this discussion a little bit further today. Since this event is happening in the Eastern Hemisphere, where there are undeniably its own endemic ontological frameworks that are silently in action. Despite the fact the global academic discourse is established upon a certain dominant ontological vantage point, other modes of being and acting in the world also impact our lives today, especially in places that are, in the peripheries of the world, should I say. So, for instance, there's a fine yet fundamental disparity in our understanding of concepts such as the self. What does the art mean and what does it do in our life? The idea of criticality, how do we approach criticality? Or technology, what is the human relationship to technology? And they have been inculcated through thousands of years in different parts of the world in very different ways. And it is in view of such disparate cosmological perspectives that philosophers such as Yukui seek to build an alternative philosophy of technology to speculate and imagine new and more diverse possibilities for the future. I think we have bring new possibilities into the horizon, new ways of thinking around the world. So here's my question to you. How can an alternative philosophy of technology be glimpsed and developed through today's artistic practice, and how this could impact the new world that is ahead of us? You know, if we're going to have new new understanding of technology, how can we incorporate that into art? And what are some of the questions artists today should ask in order to delve deeper into this inquiry of trying to find this alternative meaning of what technology is, what the self is, what criticality is? If we change the paradigm, how do we as artists engage in this conversation?
Well, I must say that I couldn't hear anything, and I couldn't hear anything Lisa has said. I can only say if we continue using this technology, there's no future. But with your question, I think it's very difficult to explain in this occasion because your question is very complicated. But I hope that we can have occasion, to have a focus, more focused discussion. I think that we have to do, we have to undo and redo many concepts. Art, technology, philosophy, and we need to develop a different thinking, which I call the planetary thinking. But I don't think it's a good occasion to explain with this noise.
That's true. It's really hard to, like, the sound is going everywhere. So if you're ever planning on a Zoom event,
because I couldn't even hear myself.
Are there any artists that you know who are doing it, who are going in the right direction? If you could introduce,
Me, I'm not an artist, but I'm going in the right direction because I'm not doing any art. I'm only going to post my photographs on Behance, so I can compete with real photographers, not with artists.
I hear Lev Manovich. It's such a great pleasure to meet you, sir, over Zoom. But we can hardly hear you. This is the reality of our system here. Yeah. Do you think
I love technology. Technology is going to save the world, and people need to earn a living. Okay, get down to earth, guys. Forget about criticality. People have to make a living. Okay, artists are most privileged people in the world. Let's get down to earth.
Would you be able to type that out? Because right now it sounds great. It sounds like an art piece. It's really good, but I can't hear anything. Would you be able to write it out? Then I will have to read it out. The sound is. Okay. So have you seen any other artists while we're waiting for the text to come by? Are there any artists that you actually looked at and thought they're going in the right direction in terms of exploring new ways of thinking about the world?
Well, I think that apparently there are many people who are trying to do this right now. Since in the past years, there was so many people trying to do this. But I think, for me, I think that we still need to have more fundamental reflection on our relation to technology, the relation between technology and art, the relation between technology and culture. So we need to have a rethinking. Of course, there are some art practice that could be inspiration, like to start with.
Thank you. We have a message from Lev Manovich. I'm gonna read it out. This is Lev Manovich. Alongside Place Bardot and Emmanuel Chateau-Gautier, I am organizing the 2020 edition of du Nord, la mesure of my French, la mesure des images, approaches computational on histoire, et theory, art, the measurement of images,
Don't read it. Don't read it. It's a mistake.
theory of the arts.
Don't read it. Don't read
The
it.
Long Italy from 18th to 20th November.
No, don't read it. Don't read it.
There's something to note over here. I didn't see that, don't. Me. So maybe okay, I can ask another question. Yeah. Oh, the message from Lev Manovich. We don't need art. We don't need digital art. That's radical. We don't need art. I would like to hear more about that coming from you, sir. Art today is Netflix, design, fashion, etc. Does anyone want to respond to Lev Manovich? Sir Lev Manovich? Something which has purpose and skills, digital art has no meaning since 2002. 2002. Why 2002 in particular? Anybody? Ars Electronica has become a circus, a parody of itself. We're engaging, Dr. Lev Manovich is engaging with us. Thank you so much. And yeah, 2002, because now everybody can do it. 1 billion photography users on Instagram. I need to question that. If I dare, I'm just a PhD candidate. But I think the definition of what art is, the conception of what art is, could be also rethought through, I think. What art was, for instance, in China, in East Asia, the whole conception and the whole constellation of ideas that are related to the concept of art, the way art was used and the art was framed and envisioned was completely different. And it was much more, it was less about the aura of an artist as much as art as being a form of cosmic engagement, engaging with the cosmos, engaging with the sociality. So there's a lot of sociality involved in the way art was envisioned. For instance, if painting, if you look at modernist painting, it was capturing a certain kind of view and presenting it for the viewer. If you look at Chinese calligraphy painting, it was more about the society that is built around it. So there's a very relational aesthetic around it. And if you look at art from that particular angle, I'm wondering if we can see the potentialities of art in Instagram. Of course, no, not everything is art, but there are potentialities in the sharing, in the collective creation that itself. Of course, there will have to be leaders to lead those artistic activities. But then I think there's a lot of potentiality that has to be tapped on. Oh, Maurice! That Maurice is back. Yeah, so that's my personal thought. I mean, maybe it goes back to what Yukoi was saying. If we were to sort of look at art from a different worldview, I mean, how dare I, Dr. Lesmanovich, rebut your argument, but I am hopeful, as I said to Jeffrey earlier on, I'm pretty hopeful that there may be another way. Maybe I'm being young and naive, but maybe if we reconceptualize what art means, what individual means, what criticality means, maybe. If anybody wants to add to this conversation, please go ahead.
Well, judging by the chat, I assume that you can't really hear us particularly well over this soupy sound. I had one question for Dr. Manovich. I agree with you that I agree with you that I don't think it really matters, I don't think we have a criteria for good art or quality now. What we have is a technological system that encourages us to repeatedly make creative input. And the aesthetics we have is the aesthetics of the database rather than the aesthetics of the individual work. So, like a software point of view or a big data point of view, what are your thoughts at the moment on the ability to make aesthetic judgments or aesthetic criticisms of mass distributed creative activity, such as we see of, the sea of content created on Instagram, Facebook, or sort of this chunk of data that we're creating here now? Well, I think being an artist is irrelevant. We're just making reconfigurations of data and uploading it. The relevant thing seems to be the database, but how to make an aesthetic critique of that database. I'll be interested in your response.
That's true. Dr. Ledmanovich said, 120 gardens does not bring us quality. Impossible to focus. It becomes like a list of people, CV. I have a post on Facebook, less angry, more detail and arguments. Everybody can be an artist today thanks to digital tools. What do we feel when we look at the previous generations of electronic and computer technology? 1940s TV sets, 1960s mainframes, 1980s PCs, 1990s version of Windows, or 2000s mobile phones. I feel embarrassed, awkward, almost shameful, sad. And this is exactly the same feelings I have looking at 99% of digital art, computer art, new media art created in previous decades. And I will feel the same when looking at the most cutting edge art done today, AI art, etc., 5 years from now. If consumer products have planned obsolescence, digital art created with the latest technology has its own built-in obsolescence. These feelings of sadness, disappointment, remorse, and embarrassment have been provoked, especially this week, as I'm watching Ars Electronica programs every day. I start wondering, did I waste my whole life in the wrong field? It is very exciting to be at the cutting edge, but the price you pay is heavy. After 30 years in the field, there are very few artworks I can show to my students without feeling embarrassed. While remember why they were so important to us at the moment they were made, their low-resolution visuals and broken links can inspire students. The same is often true for the content of digital art. It's about issues, impact of X on Y, critique of A, a parody of B, community of C, and so on. it's almost never about our real everyday life and our humanity. That is the problem. Feeling, acting, looking at the world, looking inside yourself, falling in love, breaking up, questioning yourself, searching for love, meaning, less alienated life. I think we had that in pop songs then, maybe, or really good music experience. I think to be an this is a message from Maria Garcia Mete. I think to be an artist, it's not only to know the technology. And Dr. Ledmanovich says, as always, I exaggerated a bit of my point to provoke discussion. Sounds like Maurice, but not that much.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Yes. Actually, Lisa is a brilliant PhD student, ending a thesis soon. You finish your thesis soon.
Next year.
Next year soon. January.
Maybe.
And yeah, with some interesting vision of the relation of Asian culture and Western culture in the media art world. If I'm not betraying.
What is the intent?
I was talking about your thesis.
Oh, you want me to talk about it?
No. We don't want you to talk about it. It's a party, you know. Yes, it's a, yeah.
Should we keep going, Dr. Manovich? Okay. The mystery of why some this is still a message from Dr. Levmanovich. The mystery of why some technology and art made with them as obsolescence and others do not, thinking about this for 25 years, we are fascinated by 19th century photographs or 1960s ones. They look beautiful, rich, full of emotions and meanings, but video art from the 1980s and 1990s looks simply terrible. You want to run away and forget that you ever saw this. Why first after computers look cool, engage, but our art created on them does not, and so on. I still have not solved this question. Yes, I am sorry that sometimes I express myself in almost an aggressive way, very direct, but feelings behind my words are real. Maybe if digital art was not surrounded by the progressive discourse so much, did not promise to challenge us, change our ideas, etc., it would be better. Finished. I made everybody leave the party. No, actually, that was really important. That was very good. And Dr. Levmanovich said, happy to hear your response and critique of me, please. Okay, does anybody want to talk to Dr. Levmanovich? His vision about digital art. Are we too tipsy to do that? You can go on, but I'm just okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be saved by an iPad that's gonna help me walk around and engage. But if you don't mind me responding, I think that the whole vision of aesthetic itself that is hinged upon the visual harmony between the aesthetic and the sound, the visuals. I don't know, maybe the expectation of art that we used to determine the quality of art kind of influences Dr. Levmanovich's perspective in a way. Because if you don't focus on the visuality and the aesthetics and the narrative and the quality of aesthetics, but focus on the relationalities that are formed within, for instance, or so if the artists and viewers were to focus on other aspects and sort of leverage that instead of focusing on visuality and narratives, then maybe we can have a different kind of art. I mean, I think that's definitely been happening already, right? Let's say relational aesthetics. You know, it's all about relations. I find those really beautiful. Maybe it's not so romantic in many ways, but I think that relationality itself and art that discusses these very human, real, empathic exchange, like performances, live performances that really tap onto the live exchange of energies buzzing in space. Like right now, you know, like it may be really bad. The visuals and the audio you're watching may be of very bad quality. But if you look around here, I think this, okay, maybe we can't call this art per se based on the current definition of what art is. But this could also be somehow transposed. This kind of relationality can also be transposed. And, you know, like having different criteria to determine what is art. I think that, I don't know, I'm just a student, okay? But I'm thinking maybe we can still find beauty in the mess that we have if we look at a different angle. Yeah, anybody please feel free to feedback because like I'm okay with critique. I will handle the critique. Yeah, I mean that's going back to my discussion with Yuk as well, Yukoi. If we have a fundamentally different understanding of art, what criticality means. For instance, how can you, especially in this part of the world, how can you transpose an art movement that was created within the context, historical context of 20th century avant-garde, you know, like European avant-garde, if you transpose that into today's context?
Hi, Machiko. Hi, Machiko.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to
Okay.
see you. Yeah.
Welcome to a party. I just made a big poo, but seems like it's working. I just made. Sorry, just wanted to have conversation. That's all.
Okay.
Sometimes I can be a bit provocative, but you know, I'm all for good cause. You know. So.
I read your posting on Facebook. It's great.
You know, nothing new, but you know, what if I die tomorrow? I want to wonder what my life was all about. That's all.
Dr. Lev Manovich said, not only visuals, narrative, music, pattern, senses, it's okay to have high art as intellectual journalism, but it means that old senses art is only done by a commercial culture now. Okay, but let's be clear. I'm going to read Maria Grazia Mate's comment after, because I think there's a connection. Yes, it's not art, it's cultural process. And this is fine. So let's not call it art. And we can enjoy this thing we do. Thanks for talking. Yeah, but I don't know that the whole definition of art is so porous. And Miss Maria Grazia Mate says, Lev, I would like to continue this dialogue. My project in Milan is focused on that. Please. Please. If you type it out, I can read it. It's just that the sound is not working very well, and everyone's having too much fun. Would anybody want to come and join us in our conversation? Please.
Audio.
Guys, not say please. That sounds desperate.
Audio. Hello? L'audio?
Sì.
Oh. Ma quando io parlo, tu mi vedi nello schermo?
Ma tu stai parlando a tutto il mondo quando tu parli.
Vabbè. Volevo dire, entra nel dibattito con Lev, perché Lev è provocante.
Devo andare via tra 10 minuti, devo mangiare. Sono un po' di corsa. Sto scrivendo una cosa. Sto scrivendo una cosa.
Per Lev, così gli diciamo cosa pensiamo a proposito di arte oggi, digital art, che lui provoca. Io trovo che sia interessante una riflessione.
Because everyone is having too much fun here. It's a very
Sorry, I talk with Claudio Prati and Ariella. They are very.
Don't worry about responding.
This is.
I feel that I have too much respect for you and feel that I should provide some sort of, we should provide. We've actually had everything scripted, and we had a session lined up, but we didn't expect this to happen. So we're just.
Sorry, Lisa, I asked to Claudio.
Dr. Claudio Prati.
Yeah.
And we're gonna wait for that, and hope someone's gonna join our dialogue.
Siamo in un mondo di matti. Hi, Lev. Fantastico.
But guys, I don't want to be like a complete idiot. I don't mind being idiot. But what I miss is that in the 90s and 2000, at these events, we had big discussion. People argued, and now everybody wants to be safe. Nobody wants to say anything. So I feel like I'm a political meeting. We live in this culture where, the high culture. Everybody wants to be safe. Everybody wants to promote, prevent, and I think that's the end of culture. And that's I think it's a big problem.
Could you
People afraid to have argument.
So I can take a photo of it, please.
Claudio?
Could you share the details of the event in Milan? Could you share the details of the event in Milan? I'll take a photo of it and I'll share it on our Facebook page. I just feel why.
Claudio, parla tu.
Maria Grazia, I say that it's possible to continue this discussion in Milan because this context is very difficult. So I wrote something and they can read what I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to propose something that we can discuss during your opening at the Digital Culture Center in Milan at MIT.
I would like to invite all, Lev, but also Maurice, the other people to discuss that for the opening in 28. I think it's a good idea to continue this dialogue because the subject is very, very interesting. I would like to understand much more with you.
It's still very difficult to listen, but I definitely think we should, yeah. Maybe we should, I don't know, would you like to continue talking? Because I can totally just turn into the room and, we just have a drink of glass of wine, it's Sunday morning wine.
Lisa, I have a question for you. Where you are now?
In Hong Kong. We're in Osage Gallery in Hong Kong.
This is a gallery, art gallery?
Yes, it's an art gallery.
Wow.
And, this is Art Gallery Osage. And this particular party is being hosted by osagė at Osage, which is a platform like a salon, the first salon in Hong Kong, art salon in Hong Kong, where we try to engage philosophers, art, culture, technology, science, people in these different fields to come in and dialogue and try to create discourses that are relevant to today. That's where we're at right now. I'm so surprised I can actually hear you this time. Maybe you just have to speak up really loud. That was the first time I heard anybody from the Zoom. Everything else gets totally muffled.
You heard well? The audio is good here? You listen me? Do you listen me?
Miss Lee?
Yes, we hear you. We hear you very well.
Okay.
Audio is perfect.
Try typing it.
Audio is perfect. Thank you. Great.
It's a big lesson learned. Avoid Zoom parties until we have a really good plan. I do want to say this though. Miss Dr. Levmanovich, everyone said, just insult me. This will be good. Everybody is so polite. Can real culture happen in this situation? I agree with you on that front, but yeah. Come on. Everyone is, yeah, polite. I mean, you can insult Lev Manovich. Does anybody want to ask people to? Go, there's Adele, Maurice's daughter.
Ah, okay. Nice to meet you. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Fantastico. Ciao. Oh, that's great.
Hi Adele, how are you today? Are you enjoying this party? Yes. Or is it too noisy? You're used to it, right? You come to all the openings, even when you're in your stroller. Yeah, Claudio Prati, I really agree that said, not polite, we understand the problem and somehow we agreed, but it is more complex. But we should leave, no time, no, that next time,
Need time.
to be continued. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to leave, that's okay too. I personally, I'm just trying my very best in this circumstances that we have, but we could go back to our discussion if you enjoyed this very pointy discussion with Dr. Lev Manovich. I mean, how would I ever would have imagined that I'll be having a discussion with Dr. Lev Manovich in this situation? So I think I'm enjoying it. So yeah. So if you want to continue, we can. And I will hope someone else is gonna come save me.
Is Maurice there?
Maurice, let me ask. Maurice, you're wanted. I think he's hiding over there. Maurice. Oh, you can ask me anything. Don't be polite. Send email. I'll come up with something to ask you if I can right now. But Maurice is on his way with his wife. Pit stop.
Yeah, but I...
Oh.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour. How are you?
Actually, Agnes wanted to meet you, like Maya Matia, like Derek, and so on. And she's coming. She's coming because she wants to say hi. So that's this is what Ars Electronica-led used to be, and this is what they should be. So that's great to have you.
Hello, hi. I just want to introduce Colin Blake.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, Agnes.
Hi, Agnes.
I don't know what this experience is like for you. For us, you might have gathered there's a certain amount of background noise, but it is at least the noise of people having a lot of fun. So that's okay. But can you hear what's happening here?
Yes.
Okay, Maurice. Yeah, thank you. I wish you again a good birthday, even 1 or 2 days after. I know it's like, don't worry.
Thank you.
No. We are in line and online. And so we definitely should be able to share this kind of thing. And it's really fantastic to have you, because you're actually you're in Itaca.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's very early for you.
Yes, we're waiting to have our coffee.
We set the alarm, Maurice, just for you. We don't do that. We don't do that for everyone. For you and Agnes.
Yeah, that has been actually very crowded event. We were not expecting so many people, so it was supposed to be easier to discuss. I'm sorry if it was a bit difficult for some of you. I want to also say hi to Violaine, who just joined us. Hi, Violaine.
Hi.
Guys. And again to Dune within Seoul and Mashiko within Tokyo. Hi, Mashiko.
Hi.
Mashiko.
Yeah, good to see you.
Lev, are you in Seoul? Yes, you're in Seoul. Did you
Yes.
meet Choi?
No, I'm not in Seoul. I'm in Daesan. Duan is in Seoul. I'm in a different city.
Did you meet Dun Choi?
Of course.
He says yes. So that means connection works even if we have some kind of plane problems. That's really fantastic. You can see it's kind of a very experimental party, and we didn't expect it to be like that, but we are very glad at the same time. It's so fantastic to see all of you now. And in a way, we are doing something that is not so common. Of course, a lot of people use Zoom, but do they use Zoom for party? And with thematic party like what we are doing. And then I see the discussion that happened. Yeah, we are having some quite serious discussion topic. And it looks crazy, but it's possible. That's fantastic thing. And so, what time is it? I don't know what time is it. Let me check, because there are so many.
Oh my God! Don't read that. Don't read it. You'll be shocked. Better don't read it. We had a big mess here, so don't read it.
Yeah, Lev, I'm sorry, but it's a bit difficult to hear you.
Just pause.
But it works pretty well for that. And we had a lot of fun here today, because suddenly an event that we know for more than 30 years became experimental again. And I think it's something, it's a fantastic event. Viola, you want to say something?
Well, I'm joining a bit late, so I'm not sure what happened right before for 3 hours. I'm saying that it's 2 in the afternoon in Paris, so I'm not drinking wine, I'm drinking Coke, but cheers to you. And yeah, it's a nice event.
Great, fantastic. So we have a very good time. I don't know if we will be here longer. It depends on you and on people here. It may be easier to talk later, but it may be too late for you. So I'm thinking about you, for example, and Lev, who are already, yes, Lev is more into whiskey, are you? Shivas, I see. It's not vodka, Lev. It's not Stolichnaya, Zubrovka. Okay, you wait with what you find. That totally makes sense. Dune, can you tell us something about your new Seoul life?
Yes.
Your microphone is off, Dune.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Just a few words about your new Seoul life for somebody coming from Seoul.
We were pretty stable, but several weeks ago it was a little bit of hype, but now it's getting a little bit stable again. So as you can see behind me, this was the exhibition made in May after kind of the first spike of the pandemic. And most of the exhibitions are curated remotely. So the artists can remotely access to the computer, and then they, you know, kind of install the work remotely. And some of the work which are driven by, I think you cannot hear well, right? Only people on the Zoom can hear, but I don't think you will hear. So I will be just short. My life in Seoul is just great.
So now you're working as curator for Hyundai, which is a different status from the one you had in New York. So
yes.
How do you feel?
Still same work, working in art and tech, and also not only art and tech, but other museum partnerships. And my title is art director for Hyundai Motor Company.
Art director, not curator. Art director.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't mean art director like in TV, in Netflix. You have art director. We don't mean art director like in the movies. No, we mean so like you don't make colors for them.
No.
No? You're talking so art. I mean like director of art. Director of art.
Yes, I could say.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Seoul is a city which is not bigger than 22 million people, I think, now. So I'm sure.
Yeah. Actually, Seoul is projected to have 30 million people by 2030, and I think it's the best city in the world. You know, Korea was the only country which never closed. We're doing an amazing job with virus. There are lots of exhibitions taking place. You know, Korea is the only country which respects media art because of Nam June Paik and because of Dune. So I hope as soon as possible you visit us and see her amazing exhibition, because she's a powerhouse and she's like a Bill Gates of media art in a good way.
I think you have too much drink.
Okay, I didn't say anything. I only said, okay, Steve Jobs. Okay, sorry, I didn't say. I'm only doing PR. I didn't say anything bad, no.
Yeah, just.
Bottle's empty. It's just water.
I would like Mashiko to say something about how things are going in Tokyo now. Mashiko.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about Tokyo and what is specific in your life now?
Well, now, so it's a difficult. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to answer in a short sentences. So now there are many exhibitions opening, but because of this pandemic, and there's a kind of feeling that in Tokyo this kind of second wave is already arriving. So I have been a bit hesitating to visit exhibitions still. I do sometimes. And now, so the Japan Media Arts Festival is going to open, and there are some others. And people are still kind of hesitating, really, trying to go back to, normal cultural activities, or should we do it differently? And so for me, this year's Ars Electronica, this online thing, is very interesting, because actually, in a sense, it gives a lot of opportunity for people to visit the exhibition that normally they can't visit physically. So yeah, in Tokyo, things are happening. And for example, Rhizomatics is now opening a new exhibition, and so on. But still, I can't really kind of cover everything, unfortunately. So that's it, kind of.
Yeah, for your witnessing that. The thing is that I have to say the sound is not very good on outside. I don't know if you can hear me correctly.
We hear you very well.
Yeah, we hear you.
I need earphones. I should have that, and I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. Maybe after tasting many interesting wine from all over the world. So I'm tasting you and tasting wine at the same time. It's an interesting mix of flows that probably start making sense now. And I'm sure we're gonna do improved experience of that kind because do we have definitely to go to some specific event for that, or can we just decide to create a new form of friendship and academic artistic sharing, which is of course something we need, and we would like to be more informed of it. So I hope you will have some time to have a look at the Hong Kong garden, so hkgardens.com, to figure out all the things we have been building the last month, because we have been building most of it the last month. We gave some talk, we make workshop, and we not only organize parties just to cool down, just to breathe after all this. And so maybe the story is all about breathing. We should reconsider the way we work together. And at the same time, during this week, I was we had a talk with Retik and Adon, showing that whatever the distance, we still can produce complex, ambitious works that are based on real deep understanding and collaboration. And it's quite easy. As soon as you don't have one of these people behind you shouting for them, that makes communication a bit different. Maybe I think some research should be done on the notion of noise. When the noise produces a kind of improvement in terms of communication, or is just hiding or masking some aspect. In a way, maybe the noise is like a screen in the sense of the SAS, in the Latin term, which is a way of filtering information where only the good one goes through. And today I read an article about Xiaomi phone where they found a way to put the camera behind the screen. And so playing with the size of the pixels and the space between the pixels, they could create a camera which can avoid the obstacle of the screen and still see you with a very good quality. And so I would say that maybe the interesting evolution of things is how we manage to deal with the noise in order to make the communication stronger and more meaningful. And this is for me one of the directions we could explore coming from the experience of this kind of communication. I don't know if you would like to comment or say anything related to that. You're not obliged. Just a glass of wine is okay. It's fine. No, you're not obliged to finish the bottle today.
You know, I opened this bottle when we came to Korea 5.5 months ago. So it takes me 5.5 months, to finish a bottle. So I was waiting until today to finish. Okay.
Personally, I'm more into single malt, the kind of Scotch thing. Let's say the with thing. But it's okay. We like to drink something together anyway. So we did that last time in New York, and that was a real pleasure. So I think we come to the time we are supposed to officially close the party. It was fantastic to have you tonight. I don't know what I mean today for some of you, this morning for the others, and this is a fantastic experience. And Derek, you're not escaping like that because and goodbye. And I just want everybody to be clear about the fact that it is a real intense emotional time. And I really enjoyed it. And I hope we'll find other very good opportunities. We do that again soon.
Thank you so much, Maurice. Thank you, everybody in Hong Kong. Thank you
Maurice.
for bringing us
Bye,
together.
Maurice.
It was wonderful.
Thank you, Maurice.
It was wonderful.
Bye, Machiko.
Bye, bye.
Bye. Bye, Mashiko.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, love.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Take care all.
Hi, Maurice. Lev.
The new Statue of Liberty.
Ciao a tutti.
Ciao, Popina.
Maria.
Ciao, bambino. Ciao, bambino. Ciao, bambino.
Ciao Martino, ciao Lev, ciao a tutti. Ci sentiamo presto.
I'm going to be in Italy. I'm going to be in Italy a few times this fall, speaking different conferences, but only on Zoom. But in my mind, I'm in Italy, so you know, much love. Exactly. Speaking of Italian semiotics conference, etc. You guys chose the right country, but be careful, okay? Be careful.
Grazie. I will like to you.
That's the new sign of freedom.
The best thing about digital art is that we all met many years ago, became friends, and we somehow remain young and wonderful. And you know, Maria is just a teenager, getting younger every year. Derek looks like 30 years old. Guys, whatever happens, we stay friends, we stay experimental, and Maurice is our baby. Thank you, Maurice. Sorry for my bad behavior. Just wanted to have this fun. Okay? I hope I didn't upset anybody.
Ciao Lev. Ciao a tutti. Grazie.
Ciao, Lev. Nice to see you all. Really wonderful.
Nice to see you all. Ciao.
Okay, go. I want to go to sleep. Okay, go. Get out. Go.
Vai.
Bye. Okay.
Ciao.
Yeah, but you know, there are still people eating and drinking, but we have enough to stay 2 nights or 3 nights like that. So that's a fantastic thing.
Ciao Maurice.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jeremy, for your application.